way that Elazer's done his build, he did quite a bit of like extractor tricking.
It's a proxy spine crawler, Ben. Is that what you expected?
I'm gonna go for a hatchery most likely at his natural or at the gold. After all this Overlord, does it see?
No, I don't think Elazer has seen this at all. This is the first time that he will see these units, and he's not gonna expect a spine crawler at all. Elazer's gonna have to evacuate. That natural expansion is in a world of trouble right here for Elazer. I mean, you can see that he started droning as those links were already running across because he had no idea. Now he sees the spine crawler, gets 5 damage in. Look at the body blocking.
Solid body blocking, solid body. I mean, Elazer's definitely going to be like, what the hell just happened? Like, what? How did that get here? Like, you know how it got there, but it's just the fact that it's happened. And
yeah,
I mean, is
this the right move? I honestly am not sure that pulling all the drones here to fight this, I guess it's fine. But he really needs to clean this up. He's very committed to defending this now, and he's losing tons of drones.
He certainly is. I mean, 10 drones, 11 drones falling, and Elazer holds, but not the way he wanted. Not the way he wanted at all. There's only a few extra lings on the field, and Bly's actually ahead in drones right now. But one thing that he is behind on is the fact that queen count. Like, queens, he's actually... In fact, when I say that, Elazer didn't start another queen yet. I mean,
no, he killed the one queen at home, right? Or he killed the one queen over on Elazer's side of the map. So I think it's mostly just the larva count that's slightly different here for Bly. I mean, now he's finished up the expansion, but this is already, in case you haven't seen a lot of StarCraft 2 over the years, this is what Bly does. I don't think this is the optimal way to open up, but he certainly throws a curveball. We're just gonna play Link Speed now. Interesting. We're just gonna play this as if it was a macro game.
Absolutely. I mean, what better way for Bly to approach the game? Like, yeah, he started off crazy, did some damage. In fact, did a lot of damage, man. Like 11 drones falling. That is nuts.
He's going for a roach follow-up right now off of 42 workers, which is a pretty respectable economy. The only thing that's kind of like making me scratch my head is the fact that he doesn't have a lair. So is this a hatchery-based roach all-in without like an armor upgrade or anything like that? If that's the case, why did we go for the link speed upgrade? Are we gonna... Do we have a bailing nest? No, what are we gonna use the gas on? Are we...
Ravages. I think he's...
Yeah.
I think that's his only option here, isn't it? Getting an Evo this late as well.
Yeah.
Now that's strange, but I dare say he's going to march very far across the map. Okay, now he's just making the Ravagers straight away. I mean, this absolutely...
There's no vision. Like, he just pushed back that Overlord. Sorry to cut you off, but he just pushed back that Overlord with the Queen.
Yeah, this is... I mean, luckily, Elazer is producing nothing but units right now, and that's exactly what he needs to do. But his big investment here, the +1, the roach speed, the lair itself, that's a lot of money that might not be done in time for this amount of units. But he does get to see it. One of the queens was a little bit adventurous, but this is going to be a hard spot to fight in.
That roach warren's very exposed here, Ben. I'm a little bit afraid for that one. That is the one unit you need to shut this down.
Oh. Getting on top of these Ravagers, though. Bly with not too much movement on them, and oh my god, all those lings just melted.
Yeah. No roach speed, though, so Elazer can't really go across the map and chase this down very easily. I mean, he can, but it's very risky. Yeah, so because the roach speed got denied, he decides to turn around and give Bly another chance in this game. And ultimately, it's not like this is like a 32 drone push or whatever, right? This is him having a reasonable amount of workers. Bly has got a third base as well, whereas Elazer does not. Elazer right now going into link speed, but he really needs to make another roach warren here. Like, okay, he already made it. I was going to say, where's that thing? He needs to start up roach speed in that case.
Bly knows, like, tech-wise, he's a little bit behind here. Elazer's just going to ship it. 2-1 roaches. He's going to be kind of gas-starved because, you know, no third base in sight. But Bly, he's hoping for mutas.
Yeah, this is a really, really big attack, though, here for Elazer. Oh, my God. We're going to even target fire down that natural expansion that was damaged a long time ago. The Roach Army actually came back home, and he does get the natural. I think Elazer should have shipped it. I think he should have gone straight across the map. These links have now bought so much time that the Spire is just seconds away from finishing. I mean, mutas alone, though, are going to take forever killing +1 armored roaches.
Yeah, Elazer's very lucky that he has these good upgrades, but he has to start making... I mean, he only has one hatchery alive to make queens back at home, but, I mean, this is a large amount of units that he can deal a lot of damage with, isn't it? And they're 2-1 as well. He's got a massive upgrade lead. But Bly has a lot.
Yeah, Bly has been making a lot of roaches, and now mutas are coming on the back of this as well. Mutas ultimately will kill this, but the question is how much damage can Elazer do in the meantime? He's taking a couple balls to the face as well on the right as well as on the left. Ravagers are going to start target firing this down. Now Elazer realizes that this was a one-way trip. That third base also ended up getting sniped here too. But yeah, now the roaches are going to start going to town right here on the economy, I believe. At least they should. We're going to try and get some lucky biles in on some of those mutas. Elazer may actually be able to equalize the damage done here, to be honest. These roaches are going to take a while, although I say that. The mutas are just chipping away.
The mutas are dealing damage. They absolutely are. But Bly's eco is definitely getting shafted. And look at Bly's supply as well. 80 out of 172. The boy definitely overmade overlords here. And these mutas, in this kind of economic situation, this is going to be a horrible game for Elazer to play. Also, for the past few minutes, Bly has been out mining his opponent. And Elazer, he wants to shift it about. He wants to say, okay, getting queens, I'll be defensive. He's actually killed every queen that Bly had here as well. Killed the third base. And if he does get into Tunneling Claws Loco, that's the kind of game where I kind of start favoring it for Elazer, despite it being very, very wild at this point.
Yeah, these roaches, they're on a one-way trip. I mean, they're gonna finish Burrow here in about 30 seconds, but I've got a feeling that all of them are gonna be dead by the time that they can finally get on the ground. That is kind of painful here, but Elazer just sacrificing these units. In the meantime, there is a counter-attack as well in the next hatch.
He's hitting his hatch with his roaches. He's making a lot of mistakes. He also attacked the rocks there that you see damaged with his queens earlier when the mutas pounced. So, yeah, Elazer's feeling the pressure.
And this is what Bly does, right? Like, he throws all these weird moves at the opponent, or at least something that you don't regularly practice against. And while I think we would all agree that in a standard game, Elazer is favorite, like, probably 95 out of, like, 100 games. Like, it's very extreme. But in a situation like this, when everything is just so weird, Bly is the one who feels more comfortable. You can see that Elazer really is struggling. He's making uncharacteristic mistakes that really shouldn't be made at this level of play.
I think as soon as Bly has to start defending, though, against Elazer, like, even though, for all intents and purposes, it's not a bad situation with Bly, I think this is when he's going to start really suffering. But the fact is, Bly has been playing a good game so far against Elazer, and that muta count, 16 Loco. Like, if he is to take a fight, he's absolutely going to obliterate the number of queens that Elazer has right now. The only thing that's keeping Elazer alive against them is these spores.
Yeah, like, what are the best options here for Elazer to fight the mutas? Well, it's either like a fungal growth with some sort of Hydra or Queen follow-up, or Parasitic Bomb. But on this economy, that is not something that Elazer is even thinking about. He wants it, but he just doesn't have the money for it. So this becomes an awkward game where you're not really able to move out very easily anymore. He's trying to tunnel roaches across, and he did sneak out a bunch more once again. At the bottom of the map, we do have a round of roaches. They could actually get quite a bit of damage done. There are some defensive units available as well here for Elazer. Once again, working on more of the queens. Most importantly, though, Elazer did secure that third base again.
Oh, they're both taking a lot of damage from each other, except these mutas, those drones were not pulled for quite some time. Elazer kind of focused on the other side of the map, I do believe, and oh my goodness, that was a drone massacre over there. Bly feeling confident enough to whip out a lot of drones himself now, fighting with roaches on that side of things. I mean, Bly's handing it to Elazer this game. Elazer's trying to be nice and sneaky with the tunneling claws and stuff, and I think that is the one thing that is keeping him in it, but oh, bloomin' hell.
Ultimately, he still has a fighting chance in this game. It's gonna be Hydras. They're a bit easier with the new patch to get going, but it's not the most reliable answer, even against Mutalist, right? Because sometimes you just get overwhelmed, and then the mutas just kill everything, especially with +1. If he's already decided to go into +2 here as well for these flyer units. It's a difficult army to overwhelm. You really do need like a fungal growth or something to reliably get it done, but I don't think that's something Elazer is gonna look for here. I think he's just gonna make one really large Roach Hydra army and then, well, shove.
I'm really worried for Elazer at this point. That one spore is keeping him in this against that number of users. And oh, that's a good amount of transfuses there. Elazer really needed them. Now he needs to get the creep spread going in this main base just to make sure these queens can move about. But I'm almost feeling like an infestation pit would not go amiss for Elazer at this point, you know? Bly does see the Hydras, and he's like, you know what's good against Hydras? Banelings. And I mean, that's kind of a natural transition for him. The Hydra's kind of getting caught out a little bit, but Elazer's quick enough to bring the queens to the fight as well. It definitely can. Like his army, it's all about. Well, I mean, he's just adding a lot of banelings, getting that speed. I wouldn't be surprised if Bly is just like, you know what? The longer this game goes on, the worse it is for me. I'm just going to go, go, go. And Elazer, despite being so under pressure, he's getting a hive. And probably thinking about Vipers. You know, yeah. I'm still hoping that a few Infestors joined, because if there's one thing that Ling Muta Baneling sucks against, it is absolutely Infestors. And he has so much gas to use here, Loco.
Yeah, Vipers would be awesome for sure, but they're still a little while away. And I'm with you, Bly may very well be thinking about going for a big attack here. Although I say that, there's 29 Banelings. Yeah, they're moving right now. And actually, Elazer had something in the middle of the map to spot that. So Elazer knows that his army is at the very least on its way. It's critical for those Roaches to tank for the Banelings.
And that's just what they're doing. Like, the Roaches held on pretty strong. I mean, the Banelings are starting to leak through, but where are your Mutas? They are not involved in this fight. In fact, the Mutas, what are they fighting against over there? A good bunch of Queens? I mean, I think they will edge out in that fight, but oh my goodness, this was messy.
Yeah, those Roaches were in the perfect place right there. I think that couldn't really have gone much better for Elazer than it did, and it's still looking very, very sketchy for him. Mutas and Roaches on the production tab here for Bly. Normally we see kind of a commitment into both, or into one, not into both. But anyways, Elazer ultimately is going up into a Viper here. Now Vipers with Parasitic Bomb deal 120 damage to clumped up units. Mutas have 120 life. So technically it's a great choice. It's just that it's taken 20 minutes to get here. Counterattack. I don't really love this counterattack, to be honest. I mean, the +2 flyer upgrade here for these Mutas is insane.
Yeah, I don't think Elazer likes it right now either. This is taking a bit of a beating. And now the Roach count from Bly is actually bigger than Elazer's, which is very problematic. Granted, the Hydras are still a damn good backline. And ground upgrade-wise, Bly's struggling. He's only on 1 carapace here, so his army is definitely not that well upgraded. Elazer can finally start mining off his 3rd and 4th base here, but Elazer's actually not got 1 queen out on the field.
Okay, well, he's seen the Hive at the very least. He's gonna go after the Hydralisks then, so that one will be gone. Where are those Vipers? That's the question I've got right now. Okay, they're coming in from the left side over here. Very risky, but here come the Banelings and the Roaches as well.
And that is a low health hatchery. Like, Bly can just snipe that, but he's gonna go for the drones here, and oh, we'll get quite a few drones for his trouble. The parasitic bombs start landing here, and those Mutas, they are clumped up, Loco. They're clumped up. Okay, he splits across a few of the units here, but those Mutas have to get on out of there. This is such a clown fiesta.
Wait, he fires up 7 more Mutas? I thought the H for the Muta ended like 5 minutes ago, and Bly's like, you know what? My opponent has got Vipers out. This is an excellent moment for me to go ahead and make even more as he snipes another base. This 4th over here, it has been, well, burning for a little bit. There is no way that it's gonna stay alive, right? I've got a feeling units are gonna slip through the cracks and kill that here.
I mean, this game's wild. Like, Bly is still absolutely in this. He's still got a supply advantage. He's been economically ahead for a long time. Resources lost tab, he definitely hasn't been efficient about it. But, you know, those Mutas do regenerate very nicely. And if those Hydras take a bad fight, Elazer's out. But that's the base. It's gone.
Yeah. That is so much damage being done right here by Bly. The Vipers are once again flying on this direction, but okay, well, that should be a pretty easy split, all things considered. But yeah, no, I thought they were only gonna grab the absolute top one right there, but somehow one of them managed to get into the center of that clump. Mutas do regenerate very rapidly outside of combat, much faster than other Zerg units, so they're gonna be able to regen live here eventually, but what a game are we watching?
He's just said, I'm not going to... In fact, he is getting upgrades. He is getting +1 range here. 8 Overlords booted up as well, given that he's supply blocked a good 23 minutes into the game. I mean, it's ridiculous, Loco.
You were mentioning he had too many Overlords about 10 minutes ago. I think that's also the last time he made an Overlord. But now he once again hit a block. I think just pure Roach bailing here is not a bad choice, as he does decide to shove forward right now on the other side of the map. Going on. And big blinding cloud. Ooh, that was painful. Banelings here hunting for drones, but there's only 25 in total. We're gonna just kill the base? This isn't a planetary fortress?
Oh, this game is so wild, man. Like,
this started, I just want to remind you guys, this started with a proxy spine crawler.
Yeah, absolutely did. And this is one of those games, right, where I think Elazer's gonna lose. but he has looked like the better player losing. But still, Bly has brought him down to his level, man. He really has.
Yeah, so here's Elazer going for his final attack. He needs to win with this army. GG is called because it's not big enough. It's Mr. Bly, who's now gonna go for an 18 supply gold base first right here on this map.
Ooh, look what Elazer's doing as well. He's actually taking out those minerals, and I think he's also going to go for a gold base. Now this gets spicy here, Loco, because if he takes that, their bases are pretty damn close to one another.
Instant Baneling Nest here for Elazer. That's actually very quick. His link speed and Bane Nest are so much faster.
And just remember, like, he has not brought his drones, or at least as many drones over to that base. In fact, he's not brought anything. It's almost like a launching pad for him to get stuff done. But for the time being, Bly's economy is better. Like, so I'm actually starting to get a little bit worried for Elazer in this kind of situation, because if Bly kind of makes a read here, gets like a defensive spine on the go and stuff, which he can afford, Elazer could be in trouble.
I'm with you. Yeah, he decides to go for a Roach Warren. Keep in mind, though, that Elazer can just run by this location altogether because this main base and that gold are so far apart.
He does start a Spine Crawler as well. I mean, Bly, as much as I've been critical, he's making some decent reads here. Like, this is all kind of instinct for him, and that's what happens when you try and Bly a Bly. Like, you're playing his game, you're in his world, but that is a lot of speedlings on this front door, and that Spine Crawler, it's very exposed. And those drones, they are doing what they don't want to be doing. They're fighting against some little lingy boys, and hold position micro will keep them alive for a bit longer, but Bly is not staying in this game for long unless these roaches can get out and do something, which that's going to be a lot of roaches.
Yeah, but the problem is the lings in blue have now made their way on over towards towards the main base right here of Bly. Most of the roaches of Elazer, or of Bly rather, are over at the gold base, so all of this gets very confusing. I think if he had just like 15 more seconds and those roaches would have started up rather than Zerglings, this would have been a whole lot better for Bly. Keep in mind that Elazer is doing this off of just 17 workers. He's got barely any drones himself, but I think the trades have been more than good enough for him. Just the economy here for Bly is just, not good enough.
And the main enemy of the Spine Crawler, some Banelings, and Bly at 25 supply with only 10 drones alive is losing to a large amount of Ling. And
I think he almost predicted that this was gonna happen, you know? Like, it's a map with a gold base that is accessible relatively easily. Can Bly really take or withstand the temptation, right? Like, that is just a little bit too much for him to pass up on, so Elazer going for the faster Baneling Nest and the spawning pool and the link speed and everything ultimately just gave him the units here that he needed, and those kills over at the gold base. Well, I think if he was 10 seconds later, it wouldn't have worked out. They're gonna allow him to win here. Game number 2, it goes in favor of Elazer.
Watching Bly play is a treat, man. Like, it's ridiculous. It's a very different brand of Starcraft, you know? Like, you can wake up, grab your cereal that you like, but sometimes, you know, you want a little bit of extra. You want some syrup, or you want some whatever on your oatmeal. And then Bly, he's like, syrup? Let's just give you like Cocoa Pops. Let's just really buzz out the sugar, you know? And yeah, it's just cool to see every now and then. And Elazer's going to go for a gold base as well. He's just gone for a much safer gold base. Like, Bly's done a lot of extractor canceling.
So it's once again going to be Ling Bane right here for Elazer. It's going to be Ling Roach for Bly, it looks like, which is an interesting decision. This gold base is also accessible from the back, which is, I guess, why we have that Roach Warren building over there to create almost like a bit of a semi-wall, because Banelings can wander in there. I kind of like the idea of the Queen protecting that area, as weird as it is, but Elazer's thinking about just going for the main base of Bly here instead, because I mean, all the defenses seem to be over at that base. That's where the roaches are coming up too. What about the main?
This is very smart by Elazer to utilize this, and that's a lot of drones pulled, and those Banelings, the first shot is juicy. The Queen falling as well very quickly, and look at that. Bly caught with his pants down, and yet again, and roaches, I mean, I almost forgot to mention, Bly was actually supply blocked for a good little bit of time there. There is a lot of roaches coming out, but the damage has been done. The floodgates are kind of open at this point. Those roaches have got a long way across the map. Nice micro by Bly, though, to turn most of these damaged roaches into Ravagers. And in fact, keeping a lot of them alive here. This didn't go without a cost for Elazer, but it's a long road across the map, Loco.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with these slow roaches and Ravagers. I mean, it's going to take a while for them to get much done, and I don't even really know if he can march. He may very well give it a try. He did sneak out quite a few workers throughout all of this, so it's important here for Elazer to not overestimate his advantage, because that's something we see all the time. For a little while there, he was effectively doubling his opponent's economy, right? But with worker numbers this low, it's very easy to assume you're very far ahead. Okay, well, Bly has sort of evened this up once again, though, despite those losses. But it makes me think that going for the faster pool here is definitely the right move.
Yeah, those Banelings, and Elazer gets to the main base, gets a spot that there was a Baneling nest being attempted. Bly with nothing to look at will lose 8 drones. That is huge. I mean, get some damage done on the gold base of Elazer, but Elazer's kind of eating Bly from the inside out. This is really good play out of Elazer, and those Banelings have more than kept Elazer in this game, but he still has to be careful. 13 drones versus 7 right now. I mean, this is a very brutal game. That's a lot of lings, but not a good surface area to be fighting. He needs to get a wraparound on these Ravagers.
Using the opponent's golden minerals here against him. I think ultimately, though, Elazer is going to be able to get rid of these units. And these drones are going to be able to return back to mining. Now, both players are awkwardly trying to re-drone this up. Yeah, I like everything that Elazer is doing here, despite the fact that it's still a very risky game. Okay, we get one more drone on our way out, which is like 5%, more than 5% of Elazer's economy here. But ultimately, he's just got much more supply and much more army here, right? And yeah, that main base is already gone, so I guess now Bly can mostly just focus on defending over here. I don't think he's going to tap out anytime soon, but it's still risky.
I mean, that's mainly because it's Bly, though, isn't it? As opposed to, like, the chances being slim. I mean, that's a lot of roaches, but that's a lot of lings getting on top of everything. Bly's going to try and do everything that he can to hold on here, but Elazer's feeling it. He can feel that he has snatched this game, and Bly, look at that supply. He won't GG until he's at 4. GG is called. Elazer does take it, but it was